Sanjeev Joshi, an architect by profession, is the founder of Urban Sketches Pune, and today he'll be sharing his experience of exhibiting urban sketches in France in 2010. I'll just put that year in context. Urban Sketchers movement started in 2009. Sanjeev visited Bhutan, where he did these sketches, also in 2009. And when he exhibited in France in 2010, he did not know about the urban sketchers, but unknowingly, he had become a part of that movement already. And 5 years later, in 2015, he founded Urban Sketches Pune, along with Anand Ukidwe and Sandeep Khatpe. So I'll just let Sanjeev take over now. Sanjeev?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Very good evening to all of you. And I was very reluctant to do this show because of Farah's insistence and other people insisting me to do it. I'm doing this because this had become a very old hat according to me, 2010, and why show all that exhibition and all
It's
that.
still valid.
But it's very valid and it has got some today. So yeah, this is how it started. 2009. I was sketching all along my life, in the sense since I graduate as an architect, I was sketching, but I was sketching only as a professional. But travel sketching I started around 2000. Whenever I used to go to study tours, I was sketching, and then I was sketching when I was traveling to beautiful places also. So 2009, Bhutan happened. I went to Bhutan to sketch along with 7 artists, and that is how the whole thing started. So this is some of the snaps of Bhutan. This is exactly urban sketching is. I was doing live sketching even then there. So these are some sketches of 2009. You can see the date on the drawings, 2009. Incidentally, the same year when Urban Sketchers International started by Gabby. And I tried all the medium, watercolor, sketch pens, everything was tried. Some quick sketches and impressions of Bhutan I had done. And when I came back, came to me that somebody saw my sketches, and I was part of an exhibition with masters like Milind Mohit and Vilas Kulkarni. I was displaying sketches and they were doing watercolors. So that's how my first exhibition, sponsored one, also happened. This was 2010, you can see January. The invitation, the exhibition was called Moods and Minds. This was the exhibition photos. I framed the originals. And then after, sir, he mentioned to me that your sketches are very much like, you know, there is one Biennale happens in France, and he was invited 2 years before I went, and he was invited because, so he said, why don't you apply for it? You know, because it all is about sketches, and it's about on location sketches, and it's about the travel sketches, because Biennale is, it happens every 2 years. It's called as Biennale, but they do it every year actually. And the Carnet, according to me, is sketchbook, and the Voyage is sketchbook of travel. So that is how the French meaning of it. So I applied to that, and then I got selected, and then I traveled from India to France. And the place is called as Clermont-Ferrand, and from Paris it is 350 kilometers away. And I traveled by train from Paris to Clermont-Ferrand. This is a station. I was 2 big bags, 1 bag full of my display stuff. And what I had done was I had printed postcards which acted as display also. I wish also, and a selling product also. So this is one of the trains. The Clermont-Ferrand is very well connected with TGV and all these fast Euro trains. So one of, this is my selfie. I took my own camera. This is Clermont-Ferrand station. when I reached Clermont-Ferrand, compared to Paris, a very nice, quiet place. It reminded me of Pune because it's a low scale and it is surrounded by mountains also. You can see some snaps of that place now. Absolutely opposite to the station, about 3 minutes walk. So this was my walk every Clermont-Ferrand, Polydome. And you can see the scale of the place. It's ground plus 2, ground plus 3, some artists doing work. So I was enjoying my walk. This is how the mountains like Pune has. And not a very tall. Pune, of course, has gone very tall now, but Clermont-Ferrand is very nice, quiet place. And I sketched some of these while coming and going, but I could hardly sketch after the exhibition started because I was fully occupied from 9 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock. And this was November, so it used to get dark around 6 o'clock. So by the time I was home, it was all dark. The small metros and cars going around in the city. And it had just started snowing in November, so I got to see some snow also. And this is the venue, Polydome it is called as. Every year it happens here only. So they have standard dates and standard venue also. It happens on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they give venue to us on Thursday and 3 days continuously we can display. And it's known, very well known in Europe. It happens every year. So this is Polydome from inside. And these snaps I took when I went one day before because they allow us to set up our stalls. So early morning, although they had arranged a pickup from my hotel at 12:30, I decided to go early, take a morning walk, see the venue, and then again go at 12:30. So I went there at 8. He had already reached there and he started putting up his stall. So I helped him putting the stall. He had come in a car from nearby country and he's got all his props. I saw the venue first, and the venue has got 2 floors, about 40 to 50 artists on each floor, and there is a theme for the Biennale. And the theme this year was mountains of Asia. And one floor is dedicated to the theme, and the other floor free any country you can travel, anything you can travel and display as long as it is travel sketches. Worked in my case that traveling to Bhutan and Asian mountains, it just happened. I'm just plain lucky that I traveled to Bhutan in 2009. Got an opportunity to visit Biennale. This was my stall, 210. And stall means they give these 2 walls and a table, a playing stage. So which you can leave there at night also. There is a lockable box, and that's it. I mean, this is the area. So this way there are 50 stalls in that area. And these are the postcards. I had printed them. Some of you must have seen them. So there were 4 of each, 3 verticals and 4 horizontal sketches. And I put them for the sale also and for the display also. I got them printed in Pune through a friend. And this is the name here, my photo. Few photos I had enlarged and taken. So this was my stall which I put up. So the same thing I just repeated here and there and just put it. And when I did a stall, the simplest looking, the poorest looking, I don't know, not very attractive in that sense. This was my badge which was given to me. So the first day, Friday morning, they allowed children to come and visit exclusively for school children and high school children. They come along with the sketches, the culture of art and everything. So this was a very good starting for me also. And these children were really enjoying seeing the sketchbook. At this note I wrote because, I felt that there was a communication gap between me and French-speaking people. So I told my friend who could, I admitted a French guy, and he translated my English to this. This means that although I can't speak your beautiful language, we can use sign language or broken English to communicate. And this really worked for me. I just put this note on my table, and they used to come and read it, and then they started opening up. Although there was no communication from my side in French and from their side in English, most of the sketchbooks and the sketches and the drawings they started speaking. So this is the teacher who had come with the children, and she used to explain the style and everything. And she knew English. So after she explained it to the children, I just asked her, what did you tell them? So she said, I was telling them that your style is very minimal. In the minimal strokes, you have conveyed the feel of the place. That's what I explained. And I felt, okay, what I'm doing is good, in the sense that that's my style, minimal work. So she was appreciating that also. So once I realized that my stall people were finding it very plain, I was the only Asian guy there. And then everybody used to just walk past my stall looking at the, and then I decided that I should make something interesting for them to stop and see. So what I started is that I got my pens, sketch pens, color boxes, and started sketching. From my memory, I sketched everything. And then I started gifting it to people. I mean, I used to sketch, and then people used to come and watch me standing there. What I would produce a sketch, and whoever was standing longest, I mean, if they could stand there for 5 minutes until I finished my sketch, I would just hand over the sketch to him as a gift. And it was very much welcome by them, because nobody gives originals there, and they really value the original art. So these are some of the people who I could interact. I did a lot of calligraphy also by name. There was a small Maya, just wrote a name. Parents were happy. So this was the kind of atmosphere. People used to come and browse through your sketchbooks, talk to you. This guy, I gifted him a sketch, and a small anecdote. He used to come every morning and every evening, every afternoon, and come to speak in a broken English with me. And then the third day, I asked to see my sketchbooks and talk to me and all that. He said, no, I'm learning English. I've joined a travel agency, and I need to learn English. So I'm practicing my English talking to you, he was telling me. But anyhow, he liked my sketches also, so I gifted one to him also. So this is how the sketches I did, and gave it to people. But then the people started coming to me, and then the sale happens at one place. They have one shop where you have to put your merchandise. In the sense, now I put this cards packet there. You have to submit cards there. At the end of the day, they will make, okay, you had given 100 cards, and now 20 are sold. So that hisab kitab they give you at the end of the day. And at the end of 3 days, they pay you cash directly. What things they return back to you. So when they came here, I started talking, giving them sketches. The word got around, and then they used to ask me, how much is this? And I used to tell this is 5 euros. I had charged 5 euros for one of the cards, and they would go and buy. And the second day, that lady, the shop owner, came to me and told me that you have sold everything. Then I realized, okay, many things have gone. So I put my more, and I could do a good sell. This is the person who sketched me. This is how I was doing. I was unaware of what people are doing. These are some happy faces I can see who got the originals. And this is another story. What you see is a poster which was on the station. When I realized that my display stuff is not much and it was all empty, I decided I will do some live sketching on location. Buy big paper where I would stick and do a big sketch. And I asked my hotel receptionist, where can I go and buy paper? She said, you go to station, take a metro, and get down at that station. Then you come to a stationery shop. You can buy big size paper there. I went to station. I saw one person bringing down a beautiful lady model, a photograph. It was a poster kind of thing, and he was bringing it down and just packing it and taking it away, and probably he's putting up a new one. So I asked him, he's a French guy. I asked him, can I have look at it and can I take some of it? He didn't asking what for I wanted. So I took out my sketchbook and I sketched on it, and I showed my sketchbook also that this is what I want it for. I want to sketch on it or draw something on it. So he realized what he wanted. So he said, you can take everything. So I took some of it and I pasted it here. You can, if you turn your head on the left, right, then you can see some lady face there. So I started sketching on that. Some of the sketches. So this is how you display your sketches, and this is you can see my palette there and brush, and this is how what actually I had carried to Bhutan. I had not carried anything more than this. See this, you can see clearly here. If you turn your head right, this is a lady, and I think she was some shampoo and with her. So I just cut it, put it ulta sulta, and did this sketches on that. I mean, while I was doing it, many people came there and saw it, and some artists came and showed their sketchbooks also. There are a lot of people who come just to absorb the whole thing, even if they are not participating artists. They come with their sketchbooks, they meet people, they show their thing, they talk to each other. This was one of them. I don't remember. She must be a very big artist because her work was very good. Yeah, this is when I was sketching on those pieces. Some memories. So these are, I'm sharing some other stalls, which why I said my stall was poor looking and very plain, because people had really worked hard on them. This fellow had visited I think Hong Kong or something. So people have that theme kind of thing, when they display the stall, it's like a studio. Many people draw people and make a story out of it. These are the different artists I'm sharing. And I got a lot of exposure to different styles of sketching. In 2009, urban sketching was not heard of. When I didn't know what I was doing was is going to be called as urban sketching. But people see this Patty Baker, whoever it is, had traveled somewhere and she had really displayed it well. Some dresses, some jewelry, and currency, things like that. And by the way, Biennale Cornedu Vaya is about the travel, the sketches, but it is also about the novels, books published, anything. Apart from this artists, there are films going on simultaneously. There are short films, there are big films, there are book launches, there are publishers coming in, scouting for artists, illustrators, writers. Although the artists are only 100, there are a lot of other people also. About 15,000-20,000 people visit in 3 days. These are some of the sketches which I liked. I just clicked them. Some nice display. You can relate to these styles now. And I found another artist who was more simple than like you hang your clothes. That was his display. That's all. But he had written a book, and I liked his style of sketching also. I mean, he was less is more in every sense. His drawings, his size of the thing, and he gifted me this book at the end. This is his book. So that's good. These are very nice memories. At the end of the day, end of the Biennale, announce closure. We all artists go to each other and we exchange our stuff, whatever is left. So I got a lot of books. I gifted my postcards to them, exchange cards and things like that. So this style. This is Patrick Singh. He's French. His name is Patrick Singh. Probably his father must be Singh, but he does huge poster popular, and every year he's invited to display. You can search on Google his name, and he's very big man. That I realized very recently. He's a big man. This is how it displayed. And he drew a sketch for me here in my book last day, saying best wish. This is a sketch he has drawn. In just 2 minutes he did. Beautiful work. See, this is what we do actually in our stories. And this postcard says everything. There's a photograph and there's a sketch. This is Pondicherry. Some French person had come to Pondicherry at some connection, French connection, and did a story, and he was displaying there. Yeah. This is done on color paper. Beautiful watercolors. So I could get to see different styles also. I mean, it really influenced sketch. There are different mediums, different artists approaching different subjects differently. Beautiful work. I mean, this must be illustrator. And people who travel from other European countries, they come in cars or vans and they get a lot of big things, even to sell and for display also. This is kind of Mario Miranda. I found a good one. A very quick, very sketchy hand. This is also nice. You know, it's you feel that it's done for himself, not for selling. Look at the force in the drawing. And then small sketches are at the bottom, pencil sketches, and then some writing here, writing there, some color trials. So that itself is a beautiful piece according to me. See this black and white, very beautiful. Take away from apart from exhibiting and being part of the exhibition. This is some hospital patient thing. Generally, what we do in our sketching nowadays. Some different styles, colors sketching together. Yeah, these are the cards which were on display again. I got some of them. This I found very Indian. I don't know. Some artists which I interacted with. Actually, I used to hardly get any time because morning 9 o'clock people would start coming in and hardly 15 minutes lunch break and again people start coming in. So talking to people and interacting with them. So the whole day used to go just talking to people. So the time for interacting with artists was very less. Only during the lunch hour we used to meet and discuss things. Around quick round and then see others work. There's another guy, Tokyo, very nice illustrative book. I know Japanese people, they do a lot of cartooning. So this was his book. He also gifted a book. It's a book, heavy book, very big book, illustrations and things like that. So end of the third, he gave it to me. I made a friend with Andrea Longhi. He helped me a lot. He's an Italian guy. And I found that Italians are just like Indians, very loud in the sense. And they sit together, laugh loudly, you know, and the food also is quite similar to ours, spicy kind of thing. Lovely style. This is a nice style. Somebody had come to Varanasi and he had done some abstracts. I don't know whether the place made him do that, but Minium gods and goddess, that was his subject. So this kind of drawings she had made rather. And there was some Chinese calligraphy maker. So he wrote my name in Chinese and gave it to me. So I wrote in Devanagari and gave it to him. So that was part of the exhibition. Now coming to food, because food is also an important part of any trip. Safety, but this, as all Indians do, I used to buy some curd and just eat chepla whenever I used to reach late. And but in the morning, the breakfast and then some bread and French breads are very nice. So this bucket, they call it as 2 feet long. I've sketched this and measured it also. It turned out to be 20. They're all cold, but I mean, you hardly see anything which is hot. You know, the sandwiches are cold, the bread is cold. So in that cold of November, slightly difficult. 4 or 5 days you can survive. And this is the lunch room there. So we used to take lunch and sit there. This is the queue I was standing in. I didn't know what they were serving. Person was serving. I was asking him what it is, you know, whether it is lamb, whether it is pork, and what it is. So he was not understanding what it was. I took out my sketchbook and I just drew one chicken kind. That he knew English, that this is. I said, let me talk to him. Let me see whether he understands what I'm doing. So I sketched a chicken and then a pig, and then said, cross it. So he said, this is this. So I, you know, the sketches could convey what I wanted, and then he offered me what was there. So it really fun. This is Mary, who was coordinator for me. Since the day I applied, she was communicating with me on emails, and I went there. She was there to help hotel booking and, you know, transport and all that. She would call every day what time the pickup will. So I gifted her a nice shawl, Indian made, Kashmiri something, and she was really happy to see the colors, Indian colors. And she told me that we generally wear very black, gray. She welcome the gift which I gave. There's a small video just to show the atmosphere there. What you saw was a static one. This is 2 minutes.
Des animaux, des dragons, des hiboux, des aigles, des poissons, des châteaux, des licornes, des bateaux, des pêcheurs. Les dessins sur les carnets de voyage, c'est magnifique.
De la rencontre, de la découverte, du voyage différent, et puis donner aux jeunes et moins jeunes aussi l'envie de dessiner, d'accéder aux carnets de voyage.
Genre, ils fabriquent un petit carnet vierge et qui sont tous avides de croquer tout ce qu'ils voient. Non seulement d'avoir des témoignages de la part des carnétistes, mais eux-mêmes, ils se mettent à crayonner, à croquer tout ce qui se bouge, et ça c'est magique.
Ça nous a quand même donné envie de voyager. Et là, voir tous ces dessins et les artistes, ça donne aussi bien envie de dessiner. Ça a l'air de...
On travaille assez régulièrement avec des écoles, puisqu'il y a une grosse partie de notre travail, c'est la transmission de ce qu'on a vécu, des expériences, et surtout on a vraiment envie que les élèves puissent s'ouvrir au monde et envie à leur tour d'aller découvrir ce qui se passe en dehors de la France. Nous, c'est quelque chose qui nous a changé complètement, qui a bouleversé notre vie.
Dans la transmission, il y a transmettre l'envie d'aller vers l'autre, mais il y a aussi transmettre un témoignage d'une réalité qui finalement est peu médiatisée, mais qui a toute son importance également.
Le voyage en Palestine, c'est surtout la rencontre des Palestiniens, de leurs projets, de leurs réalisations, de leurs espoirs, de leurs attentes et aussi des fois de leur découragement. Il faut dire quelque chose. Moi, j'arrive pas à ne pas dire quelque chose, à ne pas avoir une problématique.
This is my last slide to say thank you. And this is 6th year we are completing. So I think we just took that opportunity to do this. And thank you for pushing me.
It was lovely, very nice. There are some questions,
Yeah, I think so.
Sanjeev.
How
Shall we
well-
take that up now? Yeah. Okay.
I think do that anyway.
One of the questions is, how did you apply for this Carnet
Uh,
du Voyage?
There's a process actually. It has become very clear because since Milind Mulik sir had already gone, he gave me a direct address to write to, email ID and all that. So I didn't have to go to net and find out the process of applying. I applied and they treated me as one-on-one. But now if you see, there is a proper website. So where there is a process of applying, how to apply, what to apply, and which format it is to be applied. And I request all of you, I mean, whoever is interested, to try at least, because we travel a lot, we sketch a lot, we have got sketchbooks, we have got a theme. So all that can be applied and try at least, or if not, then once we should decide a group of 5-10 people and go and actually experience the whole thing also. I mean, just try to combine with a different French urban sketches group also nowadays. I'm sure there are some French people and they are having their chapters there. So visit them, sketch them, and then attend this exhibition and come back. So that's also
That is lovely, especially in these times. Just thinking. Yeah. Yeah. But was there any minimum criteria or had, like, when you apply in the form or anything?
Frankly, I don't know because it was 2010 is about what, 12 years back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Firstly, and I didn't know. I mean, just applied. Probably, I think I always say you have to be there at the right time and right place. So I was just lucky enough to have done Bhutan and send the sketches, and they liked it.
True.
Invited me. And actually, the selection process is that they give hotel stay for 3 days or 4 days, something like that, and they give you internal travel from wherever you're coming, because most of the people come from Europe, so they pay for Euro rail and things like that.
Okay.
I said, I'm coming from India. You have to pay me my airfare also. India being a developing country, we can't afford to.
So that is a top negotiator.
They said, okay, we'll pay you for airfare and hotel, but the internal travel we won't give you. I said, fine enough. I was sure that will be less than the airfare, but that was also quite expensive from Paris to Clermont. The return ticket was something like 10,000 rupees. It was within the airfare. But it was a good experience. I mean, I think I consider that it is an honor also to go. So even if I had to pay airline, I could have gone, but I just tried and they said yes.
Yeah. But did you have any problem communicating with the French, especially you were going from Paris to Clermont, and how was
the
it?
travel scene, in stations, the ticket booking, and all that, they have to speak English, in hotel reception, all that. Common person on road probably won't be able to communicate with you, but those people who are in travel business, they have to have knowledge of English. And French is not so far away from.
Yeah, true.
Any problem on that?
Yeah. And there's a question from Tia. She says, what would you do different considering you have seen?
No, it depends on the place which I go to and what the theme is, If the theme basis, then I will definitely take a lot of things from that. If I'm displaying Banaras, probably I will take everything. I will put ash on my head. I don't know. Just to make the place or robe, the blues which they
Go all out.
get the flavor of the place there.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you saw your own display, you adapted, right? Because you went and got that on it. So you were thinking on the go.
Yeah, because I had carried 2 bags, one for the clothes and one big bag was full of my postcards. Somehow I have not to pay extra luggage. But to carry the props from India to Paris is very difficult unless we.
And then commuting from there again.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere. And I had gone alone, and then on I decided not to travel alone, because to carry 2 bags, to go to even loo or to inquire somewhere on counter, you have to look after your bags, and it was. ठीक है, चल जाते हैं.
There's one more question from Tia. She said, how many sketches totally did you show
Where?
in for the exhibition there?
The
How many sketches?
One 80-90 sketches. Bhutan trip was for 6-7 days. So I had sketchbooks, and then I tore some of the pages and put it for display. And some of them the time. So I had, one has to put the sketchbook, then people will come and see your sketchbooks. That is the general idea.
So did they tell you all this before you went there, that this is the expectation you carry sketchbooks?
Generally the guidelines are given.
Okay.
Communicate, because the ma'am Mary was there, so I used to ask her what am I supposed to do, what am I supposed to get. So she used to say, this is how it is.
Shruti asked, what was your takeaway from this experience? You did talk about takeaways, but like anything special?
Takeaway from that is very important when you go to such places. I mean, you see, now we go to a symposium, we come back with so much of energy and so much of exposure.
Really?
People, and see how they differently they sketch. We meet those people. I realized in 2010 that this is going to be a very interesting thing as a journey. So one thing led to another thing, and then 2015 happened. I was correspondent for Urban Sketches since 2010 onwards. When I came back, Gabby and it was a very small organization that time, Urban Sketches. So we could relate to one with Gabby. I could. So sketches.org. Just now, yeah, I was there for 4 years, but I was just sending my sketches only. There was nobody who was there to send my. I didn't know how to collect people and all that, but Singapore happened, and I realized that okay, this is the right time to start a group.
What do you mean Singapore happened?
Singapore symposium, I applied, and they selected 2015.
Okay.
So 5 years I was just doing urban sketching and sharing it with the main group. Knowing all these people, I could interact with them. But 2015 happened, and then I saw that it's so active. The group is so active. Singapore has got so much of energy. India is such a vibrant place. Why can't we start? So the moment I came back from there, then I in Facebook that we are starting this Urban Sketches Pune, and that's how. This is 6th year now, 2015 to 2020.
Wow. Wow. And you going as an instructor to Singapore Symposium?
I mean, this is also my thing. I was playing lucky. I just applied and they said, okay, you come. I think there was no competition.
No, I'm sure it was your style. About the interaction you had with the other sketchers there. I mean, did you find, because you didn't have many
not much time to and things like that.
Connections here about Indian sketchers?
Now, the one part I like to say that there is one lady came with a slightly elderly group. She came to my stall and she said that invite some artists from abroad every year to conduct a workshop. So would you be interested? And she was speaking English. The rest of the aunties were just into us. Then Vichy group kind of people, they were French Vichy group, you can say. So I said, okay, I am ready to come. One class that you learn some French. I will give you 1 year. You learn language so that you can communicate with those other people. Because I speak English, but nobody else understands it or talk. But I can't do. I will try, what I can't do. But she had offered me a good offer, and it was a small village away from Clermont-Ferrand. She told me the place. She said it's a very beautiful place. They make all the arrangements. That one Indian fellow comes from Pondicherry every year, and she wanted a change. And the only qualification that Pondicherry guy was that he could speak French. I don't know what he was in sketching and other things. You learn at least level 1 French, and then come.
See all the skills that you have to pick up. Just
I know.
Rohit has said, is there any particular philosophy that you would like to share in relation to your generosity for sharing original work. He says he remembers you opening up your studio in December and giving away, and people could walk in and pick up original art. And he said that left him so jealous for not being able to
I
make
think
it to his studio.
after some years, everybody will start doing it, because the amount of things we collect at the end of 1 year, I sketch at least 5, 6. So the whole thing becomes such a unmanageable thing. So I prefer to gift it away. No? So that's the philosophy behind it, nothing else. Only thing that I keep something which is very good, which I can sell, ready to sell them. So that covers my stationery cost. But those who are really interested and like my art, I'm ready to give, because they can't afford my art, but they like my art. You know? So why not spread that art? And especially in
I have been a witness to your giving away in Istanbul. So I think you can share that incident.
Sorry?
About how you shared your sketch in Istanbul. You can
Second time Istanbul. Okay.
Yeah,
When we
yeah.
went to Porto, we took a stop at Istanbul while going. We had a stop Istanbul cruise, and I was sitting next to one Turkish guy, and I was sketching and I was drawing sitting next to him, and then he started talking in a broken English to him. He said that he's also an artist, but he does caricatures. So he asked me whether you can do my caricature. I said, I will try. I'm not good at caricature, but I will try it. I gave him one sketch and I of him and then gave it to him. And he was so happy because he himself happened to be a caricature. And we just got talking, and I said, what do you do and all that? He said he works in an airline. I said, fine, Turkish airline and all that. And then we got down and we went to Porto. Porto happened, everything happened, and we, while coming back, our entire group went to Istanbul airport. And some of our girls, ladies were standing on the go, and Gauri was in the line, and that fellow happened to be on the counter giving boarding passes. And he saw Gauri and he said, you were on the cruise? Where is that guy? You know, where is that guy who gave me this sketch? Call him, call him. I was standing in the other line. So whole lot we went to that. So and the sketch which I had given him and the caricature, he had put it on his board at the back. Wow. So happily telling him that this is the sketch you gifted me. That's how we connected.
And he left his desk, came out and
he took photos with you.
Yeah.
I mean, our boarding passes were done very easily also.
Yeah. Priya has a question. She said, years.
I mean, urban sketching, if you call me, not 2006, 2007 must be. But I was traveling abroad for architectural study tours. Then I was sketching, but as a study architecture, no, studying spaces, details and all that. Those sketchbooks I started in 1998, 97 like that. But those nothing to do with urban sketching in that sense. It was more of a professional sketching. 2007. 6, 7, I started going around in Pune doing watercolor. There is Sanskar Bharati group in Pune. They meet every Sunday, but they do only watercolor, most of them. There is no rule as such, but most of them watercolor. So I was also doing watercolor with them, like what we do in urban sketching. I was doing with them, so it got me going. So all my blog, the sketches which you see are done on Sundays. So Sanskar Bharati played a very major role in my developing my sketching on location also.
That about your blog, I mean, is it active now or?
I think my last post was 2015 when I started urban sketches. That was the post I put up. But this
but there are quite a few, lot of work there, right?
Yeah.
Blog.
But I'm not a good writer in the sense when people generally write blogs, so they write a lot of things and maybe few sketches. I used to do other way around, and I used to put just visuals and do 2, 3 lines. This is this temple. This is that's it.
Yeah.
So,
but I think you have like 87. I think Manish mentioned 87 articles or something like that. He mentioned.
It could be.
But that's
The whole thing stopped. Even if you see other bloggers also, the mediums keep changing. You know, it becomes Instagram, then it becomes something else.
Yeah, it
Some
evolves.
changes, you know.
Yeah, changes.
I don't know. I mean, there were.
But Urban Sketches still has a blog.
Yeah.
Spot. Yeah.
That they had a blog. I used to upload my sketches there also.
Yeah, I think Manisha's put up a link to your blog for those who would like to see it.
My earlier
Yeah.
work there, nothing more than that.
Any more special experiences you had with sketching?
Yeah, after Singapore, this Asia Link, Kuching was the place I went to. Kuching is near Malaysia.
Okay.
Before we went to Hanoi, Kuching is a place in Malaysia. So
Okay.
near Kuala Lumpur, and I realized that we always go to major cities like Paris, London, and you know, New York and all that. But there are smaller places. Like Kuching also is so beautiful, small place near Malaysia. And I realized that we travel to the small places rather than going to. I mean, Mysore, for example, Bangalore. When we go to Bangalore, spend time, go to malls, and is that better to go to. Next time I will just stop over at Bangalore and go to Mysore to do a nice hotel, nice food, nice sketching spots. And I'm sure there are many like that. You know, we know Mysore, but they're around.
Now Rohit can guide Bangalore. But I have noticed, Sanjeev, that you think when you travel, you always think of how to utilize like a strategy for your sketching. So
for whenever I go for, I can't devote so much of time for sketching. But when you go on holiday, you have dedicated 3-4 days for yourself. So why not utilize it to the maximum? That's what is my point. You know? So I decided a strategy, and I will do only big size work, only small size work. I will try collage, I will try watercolor, I will try acrylic, whatever it is. But I have some plans for it. I don't go blindly and do things. Of course, I keep some thing loose also, like some intuitive things I do on location, but mostly I plan my thing and leave certain things for intuition also.
Yeah, but your traveling materials are also so minimal. It's not like.
But now when I have to take a big size paper, now I went to Banaras with a lot of big size paper, so I had to get a lot of stuff also.
Okay.
Though I folded the even sheets and put it in the bag, but there's a lot of things also. But luckily, I don't carry any easel or chair and all. I don't know how I won't be able to do it. Spotting and drawing and thinking, but so I'm comfortable with. I sit anywhere and draw anything. So that minimal style works for me.
And Bhutan also, I think Bhutan, first of all, the climb up Tiger's Nest was so exhausting. I don't know how you sketched. We were done. Today, oh my God, we carried cameras and we carried that.
Oh my God. To do. And you hardly carry anything. You carry easel and all that. You hardly have any energy to do it.
Either you breathe or you carry. It's like that. So lots to learn about travel sketching from you. But even about your bus trip, right? And you take a trip once a year.
I like local travel, and that's very impromptu. I generally go to other station where bus starts. Like you go to Swargate or go to Vanas or somewhere, and you sit in a bus whichever comes first, or the place you have never heard of, you just climb. So it's the place unknown. And then you travel, you go to that place and decide what to do next. So you get down, you sketch, and you take another bus from there to some other place. So you just go on. So it's a very loose kind of thing.
Yeah. Process carry your art materials that time, or you just
the sketchbook, few colors, color pencils, and all that.
Yeah. But in that bus journey, do you think that is different from your how you look at it? I mean, what are your subject choices?
See sketches done only in airlines, flights. Why not show sketches?
Yeah, Lal Dabba. True.
Sketching now, whatever you sketch,
Yes.
whatever or you sketch Islam, it's the one and the same thing according to me. The art remains.
Special experience on any of those trips? Anything that you?
Yeah, I mean, you connect very well with people. The moment you start sketching, I mean, we all realize that. I don't know, the moment you take out a sketchbook and you draw something, I envy. Really connect very well. I draw only static thing like I envy people like Manish or Nilofer. They draw people very well, so they connect much better than ask the people. But anyway, even if you sketch architecture or some other things, people get attracted, interested, and they start talking to you, and they become kind of helpful also. The places you just now, they really help you out if you are doing some art. If you sit on the road and do a watercolor, you can easily gather 10-20 people around you.
That's true. That's good. The only problem is I find when we are doing urban sketching and people, they get quite surprised it's not looking like them.
I don't do portraits because either you make friends or you make foes. So I don't try to do that.
Yeah.
To draw some temple and gift it to them.
Yeah. When those children came to your stall,
First day, they have a dedicated time. Morning it opens, the Binale opens, and the first session is only for children. So children, their parents, and their teachers, not even parents, the teachers, and they have got 3-4 hours to up to lunch. They come and see all the stalls. It's in their culture. They explain the things. So that's how the French, the people art appreciation is much more. They value they don't mind spending on art also. I mean, I could sell a lot of my postcards in India. If I had put, I don't buy it.
Yeah. So this is like a fixed thing. Bring their children exhibitions.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a tradition for them. I mean, every year they do that.
So we've never thought of, telling schools, bring your kids.
Have a thing like that. Now that is an exhibition, we should go and show it to children. They take it for physical training, PT. It should be they go to ground and do. They should do it for the art also.
Right, because through observation, I think children just bloom
exactly
with noticing things more.
Actually, you had spoken about this. We should take some workshops in schools.
In schools, yeah. Manish said there was a festival in France, in every city in France. What did you mean by that?
Like Clermont-Ferrand has got art. It is devoted to Clermont-Ferrand is for Binale. This is for travel sketches. There are different cities given different roles. Like somebody has got automobile exhibition. Like this Frankfurt, what is that? Düsseldorf has got, it's known for, or Milan is known for fashion or furniture. Okay. So those exhibitions happen particular date, particular city, only that. You won't find anything else in Clermont-Ferrand. It is known for travel sketches. So people know that this is the time and this is the thing. So that way it is dedicated for this.
So they're spotlighting, small, very nicely.
Binale is happening now, no? Kochi came to know because of Binale now, art Binale in Kochi.
Correct, correct. But that's a great way to popularize a small. Very nice. So I think we're almost done. Are there any more questions? Manish, any questions?
He's asking me, she's sitting next to me, that tell me about your return journey.
Oh, yes.
Return journey, I actually Turkish Airways, because it was the cheapest, and they offered me 2 days stopover in Istanbul. So while coming back from Paris, I took a break of 2 days in Istanbul because I was missing that in France, and I was just itching to try out different techniques and different things which I had seen in exhibitions.
Right. It just inspires you, to.
When I was Istanbul, so I would start sketching early in the morning and just eat in between, relax, and then again start sketching. So I put a lot of sketches in Istanbul.
Yeah, but you felt you didn't have
No
enough
time
time in
at all.
France to sketch.
Only one, because
No
early
time.
morning it used to start and 6 o'clock on dark sketch.
Right, because it was
Great,
yeah. And luckily you didn't have very cold weather, right, when you were there? Or-
When I went there, it was 3 degrees, 4 degrees. The moment I landed back, it was minus something. It was a very bad winter that year.
Wow.
I could have gone frozen that time.
That would have been another experience.
I don't know. But these European people really complain. They can't sketch in winter, They are restricted to indoor. That's why you can see a lot of cafe sketches coming out in winter. Some countries, 4 months, they just can't hold a pen and pencil in the hand. It's that cold, minus degrees.
So we
they
need to be
think-
grateful for what we have
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
Yeah, true. Anyway, your Instagram handle was there on all the slides, but just in case, I think Manish can put up his Instagram handle at Sanjmeter, right? You can put that in the chat, right? Okay. Put that up so whoever wants can see Sanjeev's work on that. I think he's now putting up more and more on Instagram. Otherwise, I think you're more of a Facebook person.
No, I put some here, some there.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Sanjeev. It was so nice chatting with you, and it's such a nice experience and very inspiring.
Thanks to Manish and Pushkar who helped me technologically. So thank you, Pushkar.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing.
And do join Urban Sketches Pune. Okay.
Right. Oh, you can tell what time we have, timings, how to check us out, when to join.
Yeah, I mean, for the people who
Yeah.
want Urban Sketches.
Yeah.
No, we meet every Sunday from 8 to 10. We display quarter to 10. And you just check out our Facebook page and apply. In the sense, you fill the form and you're admitted. And our announcements come on Thursdays or Fridays on Instagram, Facebook also. So where we are meeting, where you can come and join. There are no fees, absolutely free. In fact, you will get more than you can give.
Right. Thank you.